At age 18, I had to make a difficult decision. Should I follow in my mom's footsteps and try to become a scientist, or marry my handsome but extremely insecure boyfriend? Well, as you will find out, I made the wrong choice. But maybe you can learn from my mistake. Ever since I was young, my mom was my biggest role model. I used to watch her at home working on complicated science problems for her laboratory. I wanted to impress her and used to lie down next to her, reading the most challenging books I could find, like Nietzsche's Beyond Good and Evil. Then later, while at dinner, I'd summarize the books to her. It's fair to say that I've inherited my mom's passion for science. One time, for example, we had a 1-week power outage at our home. So I picked up a book from my school library about generators and built a vertical axis windmill generator that I connected to a battery. It took a whole month to build, and by then we already had electricity again. But I was still excited to show it to my mom. I asked her to come to the garden, where I had put a curtain over my little creation. I lifted it up and showed her my generator, which was connected to her coffee machine. She pushed the start button, the coffee maker started going, and I could see just how impressed she was. When the coffee was ready, she took a sip and even told me that it was the best coffee she had ever tasted. But while my family was supportive of my passions, school was different. I really wanted to get perfect grades, so one day I could get into an Ivy League university just like my mom did. And honestly, in most subjects, I could get straight A's without studying at all. However, when I, like always, was the only one in class to raise their hand, the other kids would make fun of me, especially Kylie, my arch nemesis. She wasn't just mean, but actually also quite funny. She once said to me, "I know you're desperately trying to be smart like Hermione from Harry Potter, but honestly, you remind me more of Ron Weasley." Everyone laughed, and I was so offended by what she had said that in the next physics exam, I gave the right answers to everyone in our class except Kylie. This was my revenge, and she actually ended up with a D, while everyone else got an A or B. Our teacher, of course, realized that the majority of kids in our class had cheated somehow to get such good grades. That's why he went over to Kylie and said, "Not only do you lack any understanding of physics, but you're also the only one in class who doesn't know how to cheat." Everyone laughed at her, but it turns out that it's rarely a good idea to attack someone more popular or powerful than you. Because now Kylie hated me more than ever. That same day in PE class, we were supposed to play tag, and Kylie was it, and supposed to chase the rest of us. Like the other girls, I ran yelling and laughing, but when Kylie came close to me, she stopped, looked at me and said, "You do understand that no one likes you, right?" Ouch, she'd hit my weak spot. It really hurt to be singled out again. Luckily, I did have one friend in my year. We normally met up on Fridays to watch a movie or do a picnic. But one time she told me, "I can't today. I have to get ready for the big school party." Didn't you get invited? No. Oh, well, don't worry about it. You're just easily forgotten. I guess she thought that saying "you are easily forgotten" was a nicer way of saying nobody likes you, but it still hurts so much. And apparently she made lots of new friends on that party because afterward my only friend never wanted to hang out with me again. The final straw must have been when my music teacher asked me to sing in front of her class. I told him I'd prefer not to do it because I was shy, but he told me I'd get a bad grade if I didn't. So I went in front of the class and started singing. I didn't think it was that bad, but the teacher immediately screwed up his face in pain and held his hands over his ears. That's why all my classmates burst out laughing at me. Now, I know the teacher just wanted to make a joke, and maybe if I hadn't been so insecure, it would have been fine, but he destroyed the last bit of confidence I had left. After that, I never raised my arm in class again. I was so unhappy that I finally ended up transferring to a new school to have a new start. And it worked. When I arrived, the only free chair was in the last row next to a really good-looking boy called Miguel. I sat down next to him, and he immediately started telling me how much he hated math. I responded, "Actually, I like math. There is no better feeling than solving a hard math problem." To which he said, "Wow, I just met you, and I already don't like you." At this point of my life, I was so insecure that his words instantly made me cry. However, he didn't mean to hurt me, so he added, "Don't worry, I was just joking. Why don't you come by my house today? I just got an electric guitar." Wow, was this my lucky day? A pretty guy wanted to spend time with me? I accepted his invitation, and later that day, we hung out in his room. For the first 20 minutes, Miguel tried to put the cable into the right plug, but failed. Did I mention he wasn't that smart? When I gave him a suggestion, he responded, "Stop ordering me around, I know what I'm doing." Wow, he was so insecure. And then I learned why. He called his dad to his room and told him, "Dad, that guitar you bought me doesn't work, it's broken." "Did you turn on the speakers?" Miguel turned completely red, realizing he had forgotten to turn the speakers on. His dad added, "So you're still a moron. Well, maybe I can knock up your mom another time and have more luck with my next child." Wow, I was shocked. His dad didn't seem to care how much he was hurting his son. I tried to change the topic and said, So, Miguel, what's your favorite subject in school, by the way?
Who cares about school? Only idiots get a degree. Once I'm 18, I'll become a salesman and make lots of money.
That actually wasn't such a bad idea because Miguel was outgoing and popular. I knew he would make a great salesman. However, I disagreed that getting a degree was useless, so I told him, I really like school and I hope to get a PhD one day in chemistry. I always get straight A's, often without even studying.
Really?
I could see how impressed he was and realized that me being smarter than him was what could make me interesting to him. Subconsciously, he probably knew he wasn't smart enough to be good in school, but having a brilliant girlfriend could be some kind of substitute. So even though he was much better looking than me, we started dating. And after each exam, I showed him my grade to impress him and show I wasn't such a bad catch after all. That was a mistake, though. I misjudged just how insecure he was about his intelligence, because a few weeks later, he was so fed up with my constant bragging that he said it was over between us. He didn't want to date a nerd like me anymore, and I immediately started crying.
He added, no guy wants to date a girl that always tries to outdo him.
I realized I'd made a mistake by showing off with my grades so much, so I apologized and promised to become a better girlfriend. He ended up giving me another chance, and I still can't believe what I did next, just for him. I started getting bad grades in school on purpose. You see, Miguel was a quite family-oriented guy. He often told me about wanting to have loads of children, so I didn't mind if he wanted me to be his housewife and become a mother. I actually liked the idea. The only one not happy with my decision to basically throw away my academic career was my mom. I was 18 and she couldn't understand why I didn't go to college.
So, what will you do instead? She asked.
Miguel and I will save some money, get married, and have children as soon as possible, and as many as we can.
But you're only 18. Why not have children after college?
I was too embarrassed to tell her the truth, that Miguel simply didn't want me to go to college and that I was afraid of losing him. So I lied to my mom and said, I just really prefer to become a mother and have a family. Mom ended up respecting my decision. And when Miguel got his first job soon after, we moved into our own apartment. It was exciting to be in a serious relationship at such a young age. We made long-term plans, and even though Miguel didn't want me to get a job with lots of career opportunities because he argued that they would distract me from being a good mother, he still allowed me to give private tutor lessons to children as a side job. Or at least until I became pregnant. Becoming a mother at 19 was very exciting because for the first time in my life, I felt like a real adult. And Miguel, despite his insecurities and flaws, was a loving husband and father. Things were good until I fell pregnant with our second child at age 21. Taking care of both a baby and a toddler is incredibly exhausting. And to be honest, today I regret to not have gone to university. I would have been one of the top students and looked forward to a great career. It would have been an easier life. However, I recently mentioned to Miguel that I was thinking about getting an engineering degree from an online college, meaning I could study from home while taking care of our kids. He just got a promotion at his job, so I thought he might be less insecure about me starting my own career. But he responded saying that I should wait until our kids are grown up before I neglect my duties as a mother. To be honest, he might be right though. At the moment, our children have to come first. I'm sure when the time is right, he'll let me go get a good education, because I know he loves me.